Da 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 da. Hooray! We're playing Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis. A game, some would say, is off my brand because it's quite good. Some would even argue it's one of the best games LucasArts has ever made during its golden age of adventure games. All right, so we're going to continue my streaming series, which slowly but surely is going to translate into blogs on giantbomb.com. I have the first draft of my write-up on Atlantis, The Lost Tales. You can expect that at some point. Probably this week. Yeah, let's go with this week. Anyways, so the problem with Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis, even though it has been repeatedly requested for this series, is that it's a little bit more complicated than classic classic LucasArts adventure game, because there are three distinct paths, or three distinct ways in which you play the game, and there are certain environments that are not necessarily exclusive, but will be not represented if we go one path or the other. For example, there are locations which we will encounter if we go with wits, but will only be accessible if we go with team or fists. But none of that manifests itself until the game's second act. And generally speaking, the LucasArts adventure game fan base is pretty much split between Team Path and Wits Path. Wits Path has more puzzles and has a lot of that classic puzzle design that people like with the LucasArts style of adventure games. Team Path has probably the better story, and because you are working with Sophia, whom we will encounter at some point during this stream, Team Path is the best, I would say, the definitive story, especially considered the tightly written dialogue there. And there are some interesting team-based puzzles that you will be working with that are not in the Wits Path. And then there's Fist Path, which everyone agrees is the worst path. And I'm only going to do it if I reach 150 subs on Twitch. Arbitrary Water in the chat saying, I played Ogre Battle for 4 hours straight. And do you feel good about your life choices, or do you feel that, like, sinking sense of disgust? It's all right. Anyways, now here's the interesting thing. People don't realize this, but the prologue of the game, where Indiana Jones is perusing a library, is actually a fun tutorial. It's impossible to fail and die, and it's more of an intro credits delivery mechanism. It's not a real, actual environment. We will treat it as such for this first episode. The way that I've kind of thought about this is I'm definitely going to start with the Wits Path. We are going to do Team Path when we save at the end of Act 1, where we have to pick a path. We'll do Team Path. Well, we will definitely do Team Path. Like I said, Fist Path sucks. I don't want to do it because the combat mechanic here is bad. It's really bad. I hate it. We'll talk more about it when we get our first required fight sequence. Anyways, with Wits Path, what we'll be doing is we will be getting through Act 1, doing a hard save right before we have to commit to our path, so as that I can easily load that up when I want to do team. With Wits, we will be doing Thera. Then Thera's the second part. We will start with Monte Carlo, then Algiers, then transition to Thera and the submarine, eventually using the submarine to get to Crete, and then entering the labyrinth. Although, is it Wits or is it Fists that has two parts? I think Fist is the one that has two parts to the labyrinth. When we eventually do get to Team, we will actually start with Algiers, then transition to Monte Carlo, then go to the dig site, which is a Team Path exclusive from the dig site going to Crete, then going from Crete to the Labyrinth, and then ending with the submarine. If we do Fists, you start with Monte Carlo, then go to Algiers, then Crete, and then you have a 2-part sequence at the Knossos Labyrinth, going to Thera, completely cutting out the submarine. So, anyways, let's boot this up. We will be doing my old school format of whenever we complete a puzzle, we will go ahead and rank that puzzle on a scale of 1 to 10 in a very scientific and objective, not subjective manner. How's game audio? I can change the game audio. It seems low. Let's get more of this MIDI music. There we go.
All right, Jones. How you gonna find that statue and all this junk?
All right.
Oof.
His Munt setup. Oh.
Looks like beadwork from the Phoenix collection.
Every single one of the environments we find ourselves with, we can interact with different
Looks like
parts of the
textiles from the
environment
Shaman collection.
to hear this voice actor. But we'll kind of just speed through this. Don't look at me. I don't like sound cards either.
I think I've read them all. I don't need them. They're just textbooks. There's nothing of importance here. There's nothing of importance here.
Books on statues?
These books don't look familiar. Uh-oh.
You can actually hit escape to skip this sequence, but I like it. Like I said earlier, I gave this a 1 out of 10. I love it. I think this is
possibly an ancient Mesopotamian
nice
cat
marriage of scum to teach simple how you use this game. This is like probably one of the better tutorials that I think LucasArts has ever made.
Looks pretty slippery. Possibly an ancient Mesopotamian cat god.
Oh, right. There's a statue on it, I think. Territory Water. It's mostly if I were to keep going through the Quest for Glory series, I want a better MIDI outlet than whatever the default generic MIDI that ScumVM normally uses. That is a true problem with trying to play any game that wasn't given a loving, emulated translation like this. LucasArts gives a shit, or did give a shit, about making sure that you could play these games on any legal platform possible. So we can't leave until we find the statue. I seem to recall it's always the third and final locker, so you're required to always open the lockers.
I'll be. Here's what I've been searching for.
Hooray!
Strange looking thing. I wonder where Marcus picked it up.
Scum! iMuse. ScumVM is a blessing, though.
I'm back.
This really
Indeed.
is
You don't look at all
LucasArts at their
Dr.
all-time
Exploring our
best.
collections can
And
be
if it
dangerous,
weren't for a couple of
Mr.,
really crummy
what was your name again?
puzzles and minigame sequences,
Smith.
I would...
Tell me,
I still
find a
probably
lock
would
to
recommend
match
this
my
on the top
key?
of the list of, so you want to
You
get
bet
into
I did.
adventure games from the 90s to
Take a
early
look.
2000s.
What are you waiting for? Let's open it.
Why not? It's an obvious fake.
You may think so, Doctor, but I believe we are opening a new chapter in history.
My word, Indy, a small metal bead. Jewelry, perhaps?
I still think it's a fake.
Like, it's got full voice acting,
Then
it's
you won't
well
mind if I
animated,
take it.
it's doing everything in its power
Really,
to create
Smith?
this, like, cinematic
Stand
experience.
back, gentlemen.
Like,
I hope you've got a getaway car waiting. You'll need one.
it's not just a repeat of a cinematic
What is
adventure game. Like, I like Last Crusade graphic adventure, but this is definitely its own thing,
He
and it
got
should be
away.
treated as such.
But we got his
Really
coat,
tried to do
Marcus.
something different here.
Hey, what's this? Klaus Kerner, huh?
Good Lord, Indy, the man's some sort of agent from the Third Reich. What does the spy want with the Buddhist statue?
I lied, Marcus. I don't think it's a phony. I can't place the style, but it's old.
Look what else our friend was carrying. An old copy of National Archaeology. And there you are in Iceland.
That's Harrison Ford.
Yeah, field
And then
supervisor for the Jastro expedition. My
The
first
love
real
interest
job.
for this game.
Who's the woman?
Sophia Hapgood. She was my assistant, a spoiled rich kid from Boston, rebelling against her family.
Where is she now?
She gave up archaeology to become a psychic.
How odd.
You can say that again.
Indy, Kerner
As
found
a
you. What if he
Sierra
finds
kid,
her? We should
This
warn the
was
woman.
like the LucasArts game
You're right. I want to know more about
that
that statue.
got close to me switching sides.
You know, Marcus, the coldest year of my life
Because it
was
does
the one
have
I
a little
spent
bit
in
of
Iceland
a
with
harder
Sophia.
edge to it. It does have some parts of it that feel difficult. There are parts of it that feel like the type of PC adventure game I wanted. And on top of that, it was cinematically doing stuff that Sierra didn't even get close to accomplishing. Okay, so now we are in New York, which is the first real kind of level in the game. As you can see, we have the Scum system right here. But unlike in earlier versions of Scum, just by putting the cursor over, we can kind of look at things and just look at them.
It's today's paper.
And it highlights the choice that you should do.
Hello there.
The show sold out, sir.
And then we have the dialogue system here.
Now wait.
No seats, no standing room, no exception.
All right. Well, gosh darn it. What are we gonna do? Her presentation is sold out. Whatever shall I do? Well, I guess we'll check out the next part of this environment. And here,
It's unlocked.
What do you want, pal? This
What do
ain't
you
no
want,
ticket
pal?
office.
I'm here to enjoy Madam's outrageous orations.
This ain't that kind of show.
Oh, of course not. Madame Sophia is a serious thinker.
Don't kid around, pal. You're talking about my idol.
No kidding. I think she's the greatest.
Me too. There's something about her.
oh wait. I need to be careful.
Yeah,
I
she's
might
very
fail
smart.
this dialogue option.
Smart, I'll say. You know what I really like? It's the way she...
The way she makes things easy to understand.
That's it. All that smart stuff seems so easy when I'm listening to her. Say, you're okay for a college boy. Come on in.
Uh-oh. Oh, no. No. No! No, we didn't do the block pushing puzzle. God damn it. Ah, shit. We accidentally succeeded in that dialogue choice. We weren't supposed to do that. Cognitively, I can't help but not do that. I solved the puzzle with diplomacy, which gives us a point towards team. Now, we can override it, but this series is about the puzzles. So I'm gonna have to rage quit to give us another go at doing the right sequence of events. Give me a minute. Damn it, I can't believe I did that. I can't actually believe I did that. Ugh. So frustrated.
I'm back. Well, here
Ugh,
I am.
I
wondering how
can't
Sophia
believe. So
Hopgood got mixed
that
up with
that is
Nazi
how you get the
spies.
points in this game. That is how you get the points in this game. You can get points through diplomatic pursuits, which give you points towards team. You can do the puzzles, which is this. But anyway, so there's a fire escape.
The way looks blocked.
And we need to move these boxes. So is that we can get towards the fire escape. What is this? A good adventure game? You guys cyberbullied me into playing this. do New York, and let's do this. So. You can also Sucker Punch Biff to get a point towards 0. Okay. So, we have to push the first crate that's in our way.
I can't reach it.
To push that.
The way looks blocked.
We have to push this. And now we did it. We've done the wits technique.
You must be the new doorman. About time they got rid of Biff. He was such a pushover.
All right. So this basically leads to the 3 different playstyles for Atlantis, the Fate of Atlantis. Again, wits, you solve puzzles. Team, diplomacy, and a little bit of puzzling, and a little bit of combat. And fists, which is using the in-game fight engine. Now, people who like this game agree, they're kind of split between wits and team, but everyone who likes this game universally declares that fists is just the worst way to play this game. The combat system here is awful, awful, awful. Anyways, if we were to punch out Biff, we did, of course, have the option to just sucker punch him, but that would be 0 points toward our Indiana Jones IQ. This game does score you, but it's one of the games within LucasArts that does not display the score visibly on the screen. So we are getting points based off of how we play the game. It's just not going to show us, and it doesn't, I don't think, display the score until we get to the very end. So we're backstage. There's Sophia. She's just beginning her presentation. If you try to walk towards her or mess with the levers on our left here, we will be blocked by this guy right here. So we have to find a distraction for this gentleman, and finding it gets us our next point towards
I need
whatever
to talk to that
we want to do.
so-called psychic.
It's Madame Sophia to us employees, fella.
Excuse me.
Take it easy and watch the show.
Here, my friends, is Atlantis, as it might have appeared in its heyday. Glorious, prosperous, socially and technically advanced. Beyond our wildest dreams. 5,000 years ago, while everyone else still wore animal skins, the mighty spirits of Atlantis dared to build a city where knowledge and power were united in true happiness. Centuries later, the famous philosopher Plato wrote about it. He
So the fun
placed
fact about
Atlantis
this
on a
is that
continent
this
out in the
lecture
deep
is an actual
and
lecture.
described how it was
LucasArts
divided
filmed
into
a
3
person
circular parts,
talking bullshit
such
about
as you see
Atlantis
here.
for hours upon hours.
Isn't she
Even
something?
if we
She
were
can
to
go on
leave,
for hours.
go back to Barnett College, and then come back, she would still continue her lecture like she was doing a TED Talk across 3 days. So we have to interrupt her. We have to end this. We can continue to listen to hear her talk some yang about Atlantis. But,
Excuse me.
Shh. She's just coming to the exciting part.
so we can't just wait it out.
What befell this serene city? We may never know for sure. Was it the
We're going to
sea
listen to
level
a couple of these
slowly
sequences
creeping
before
higher,
we kind of
or the earth
transition
itself
into
suddenly
figuring out this
shifting?
puzzle.
However it happened, panic must have gripped the citizens. On that fateful day when proud Atlantis sank beneath the waves.
Oh no! Socrates
it was a
and Plato
volcanic
talking
eruption,
bullshit
and
about a
something
city in the
remains even
sea.
now. On
Turned
some
out it was
questions,
real.
the great spirit who guides my thoughts. The all-seeing Nurab
Wow,
Sal.
what an interesting,
Silence.
well-considered video game.
I've been through this 100 times.
Product of
The woman
well-made
never
design.
stops.
All right.
Wait. She's still talking.
No. Don't. So we need to find a distraction to allow us to mess around with the stagehand to break her out of her sequence. We're going to do that by getting him a newspaper. Luckily about this game, unlike some adventure games, we're not being timed. There are only a few times in which we will be timed. But not here.
It's today's paper.
Let's pick up the paper. All right. Now we'll go over here and we'll go back and get this guy his newspaper. Give newspaper to you.
Excuse me.
Yeah, what now?
I've got a newspaper here.
So you do.
Isn't there something you'd rather be doing?
All right.
Like what? Show business is my whole life.
Don't you ever read?
Sure, it's a hobby of mine.
How'd you like today's newspaper?
Well, the late edition. I wonder if the Dodgers won. Watch the lights while I find out, okay?
Get it? This is back when the Dodgers were still in New York. All right, and so that's basically how this version of the Scum engine works. Objects need to have you... Every object or thing that we encounter, you need to use the correct verb in order to either collect it or use it with the correct recipient of that object. So if we tried to push or use the newspaper, Indiana Jones wouldn't have given it to the stagehand. He would have read it and given us a summary of what was on that newspaper, or made some sort of snide comment about the newspaper itself. If we are to just look at things, look at is usually the default verb that we use. All right, and so we are now going to use this. So let's push the left and right levers back and the middle lever remaining forward. So we'll push left lever. And then we will push the right lever back. So you have to push around these levers until they result in some sort of distraction to break her from her lecture, because she is still going to talk. We cannot wait this out. Got to get 3 green lights. Push the button. So we have to push the button. And this is the one thing, use and push are very confusing in this game. There are times in which you need to use that it feels like you should use push, and there are times in which you need to use push when it should be used. But this is a button, and we need to push.
There it goes.
And I still feel the presence of Atlantis through... May I present Nurab Sal, the great Atlantean god of...
Deceit.
deceit. Thanks, Cindy. Indiana Jones? You've got some nerve. Go back, you big jack-o'-lantern. Oh, great. Good night, folks. Come on, mister. I've got a few words to mince with you.
I'd say it's about time.
Now, there are some times in which we actually need to care about the dialogue options.
Oh,
This is
no!
not one of them.
Looks
They're
like
all
Kerner
going to
got
lead
here
to the
first.
same outcome no matter what.
Stay put. No one here. Nor here either.
Got 'em. Evil Nazis. Gosh darn it.
Dr. Uberman, fantastic news. We found the treasure we seek.
That's the second time Kerner slipped away. What does a Nazi spy want with old statues?
Have you seen the newspaper? Listen to this. Germans claim victory in a
no.
worldwide race to smash the Uranian atom. Chief scientist Dr.
Oh,
Hans Uberman announced
no.
his plan to harness new sources of energy for the Third Reich.
The Nazis have the nuclear weapons.
So?
And again, none of this matters.
Practical results are years away.
Of course they are. That's why they're looking for the power of Atlantis.
The power of
Be
Atlantis.
serious. I used to think you'd make a good scientist.
How do we want to give her a hard time? Let's talk about how she's selling shit on the black market.
Yet you've been dealing goods on the black market. Artifacts such as archaeology has never seen. You're lucky I don't have you arrested.
So what if I kept a few pieces for myself? Look for a small coppery bead under those clippings in my desk.
What do you know?
Kerner missed the grand prize.
What?
My necklace.
Oh,
Watch closely.
boobies.
The bead is made of orichalcum, the mystery metal first mentioned by Plato. Now I'll place it in the medallion's mouth.
Yeah, because Plato's such a trustable scientific source. Next thing you're gonna tell me is that you think that Herodotus didn't have a fucking axe to grind. Oh no, it's magic.
Did you see that?
Yeah, creepy.
Burn her at the stake. She's a witch.
Is your electric bill paid up?
That was Nurab Sal. His spirit is close.
Don't try your psychic act on me. This is
Don't
good.
try your
The
psychic
dialogue
act on
system
me.
is good.
Suppose I gave this orichalcum business any credence, which I don't.
We have no idea.
We
where
have
to
no
find the
idea
mythical
where to
lost
find your
city.
mythical lost city.
Shh. I'm getting something. Nurab Sal speaks. He bids us find the... What? Oh, a book, yes. The Lost Dialogue of Plato.
Another fine myth.
Let's say that Plato told tall tales.
I think Plato just wanted to tell a tall tale.
What if the Nazis have already found a copy? You ever think of that?
You found this stuff in Iceland, right?
And so,
Yes, near our
ultimately,
old dig
one of the
site.
reasons why some people
I
like Team
thought
is that
so.
it's a lot of this dialogue
working
and
there
learning
these
more
days?
about the machinations of the
Bjorn
world that
Heimdall, I believe.
surrounds Atlantis
Maybe we should pay him
and
a
the
visit.
mythos of this game. Because
What
when
do you say?
Wits, even though you get a lot
I
more
thought
puzzles,
you'd never ask.
you don't really get a lot of dialogue with Sophia. All right, we're in Iceland. Going to an old dig site. But with that in mind, we're going to go ahead and bring up this. And then bring up my thing here. Because I would like to turn this into a blog series. So Act 1, we're going to separate from our past, in part because I feel like Act 1 and its many different ways in which we go about this are going to be a little hard to parse out. So with the prologue, I gave it a 1 out of 10. The prologue's a fun little way that you click through, learn a little bit about what the story is, and, you know, just a little world building. Good world building, though. Now, with New York, we have basically two puzzles. It's how you want to deal with Biff, or if you want to go around him, which we'll go ahead and do that. So we'll say getting into the theater. I like how this has more than one way. I like how this represents the 3 paths even before those paths are presented to you. You can fight Biff, appease him, or completely cut him out of your playthrough. If you attempt to access the fire escape, you just have to push a couple of boxes. It's almost too simple, as the boxes just need to be pushed twice. Once to move them out of your way, and a second time to push them back. My only issue is that it is sometimes hard to tell which boxes you need to move. Other than that, I think this is a clear 1 out of 10. It's a nice little tutorial on how to use the verb system, this version of Scum. Actually, I'm going to write that. Overall, a nice tutorial on the Scum system, verb parser, or the dialogue and combat mechanics. Okay. I think most people just appease Biff, and if they mess up the dialogue choices, they end up fighting him. Most people, I think, would tell you that they are not aware you can actually even use the fire escape. So 1 out of 10. Next one. Distracting the stagehand to get Sophia. Is this still a 1 out of 10? Is that still a 1 out of 10? I feel like the levers and stuff, there's a little trial and error there. I think knowing to get the newspaper is a little... I'm going to give this a 2. Only because this is a step up from the previous puzzles. Because it takes a bit of a while before the stagehand tells you that he likes to read. And you need to remember that there is a newspaper stand outside theater. There's a bit of a red herring, as the game starts you with a magazine which the stagehand doesn't want. Also, there's a bit of trial and error with the... What do you call that? The levers. To finally get Sophia to talk to Indy. Still fun. And nothing too hard. I saw a typo. I saw a typo. Where's the typo? Where's the typo? I saw a typo. I swear I saw a typo. Ah, right here. There's a bit of a red herring. As you can kind of tell, I got a mechanical keyboard, and I'm still getting used to this. So, for those that don't know, I got a mechanical keyboard, and it is the first mechanical keyboard I have ever owned. It uses silver switches, and while I like the sound and feel, I am still getting used to the sensitivity. See, I'm not used to the sensitivity on this thing. Anyways, that's off topic. Anyways, I think that this feels fair with Act 1 and New York. Now with us entering Iceland, we have just a couple of puzzles. I'm thinking that there's only, if I recall this, and again, it's been a while. I think we only have one simple puzzle when we enter the dig site, and then we immediately go to Tikal, and Tikal is way more involved than Iceland. Okay, so this all feels fair. I can hear people maybe screaming that this is still a 1, at best a 1.5, but I'm going to go ahead and give this because I think the levers and the trial and error involved with those levers pushes it up at least 1 point above getting into the theater and finishing the prologue. All right, let's go ahead and bring that down and come back to the game. All right, so we are going to... No. I didn't want you to go there. We're going to go to the dig site right over here. So this is Indiana Jones and Sophia's first stop into the remote dig site in Iceland. There's really nothing to do on the outside part here, so we'll just head in. We'll meet kind of the other named character, Dr. Bjorn Himdall. He's a bit of a dick to us at this part of the story, but we'll still talk to him.
Dr. Heimdall.
Dr. Indiana Jones, I believe, and Madame Sophia Hapgood. This is my dig site now. Go away.
I thought you were digging graves
I
in
thought you were
Denmark.
digging up Norse graves in Denmark.
I was. Obviously now I'm not.
Not feeling very friendly today, are we?
I like solitude. It helps me think.
Doctor, what do you expect to find here?
The secret of Hyperborea. That's what the Greeks called Iceland, you know.
I don't know
You've
if I
read
count
how they
this as a
sailed
puzzle,
north
but
to
we
a
need to
fog
basically
shrouded land,
appease
and
him
they
until
never
he
set foot
divulges some
upon it.
secret information.
After traveling thousands of miles, mere fog wouldn't
I think
turn
this is
them back.
where some people
idiots
had a hard
claim they've
time with
ever
this
tailed
game when
by
it first
ghosts.
came out, because this dialogue
Puppycock,
system and
you
needing
know
to
what
actually
actually stopped
gain
them, Joy?
information from characters rather than solve explicit puzzles. This kind of weirded people out or was a tough sell for some people.
Maybe
but
they
I
didn't
love
allot
it.
any time on their itinerary.
It kind of reminds me of
no,
skill
no.
checks in
He
Dungeons
was
and
stopped
Dragons.
by a force field put here by beings not of this earth.
That's fascinating, Doctor.
Uh-huh.
Why did these beings show up here?
I am convinced that these travelers came to Earth to form colonies like Atlantis, using Hyperborea as a spaceport. Up north here, we're close to the ether. It's a perfect landing site.
So what's the link between Hyperborea and Atlantis?
Right, the Yastro expedition, the one you both worked on. Recently I saw pieces from it, pieces that are clearly Atlantean.
I see. Somebody must have been selling them.
Go ahead, blame it all on me.
Where did you say those pieces come from?
If it's artifacts of Atlantis you want,
For
There
those
are
of you
two
that are having
people you
issues
might
with
want
my
to visit.
stream, for whatever
Gerald
reason, it
Sternhardt
suddenly
and
decided to go
Tikal, a
crazy.
shady fellow. But
terms of the bit
very
rate.
clever. And Philippe Costa in the Athos Islands. As a researcher, he's a farce, but he's a sharp
I have no idea why.
Have you ever heard of Plato's Lost Dialogue?
Yes, there are rumors about such a book,
And
but
it looks
I've
like
yet
it's
to
finally
see it.
stabilized.
Talk to Sternhardt and
Sorry about that.
Costa.
I have no idea why it decided to weird out right there.
So you completely discount the supernatural?
This is the most
Completely. If it's
90s
supernatural, you
adventure
want,
game Scandinavian voice
talk to
imaginable.
Sternhardt
Like,
and
man,
Costa.
it's one step removed from Swedish Chef. Yes.
What is this thing you're working on?
The bronze eel here,
You're not wrong.
it's probably a homing beacon for wayward spaceships. Soon I'll have it out of the ice.
What is this eel artifact again?
I already told you, it's an Atlantean suit of armor. I think.
So long.
Okay,
Good
so long.
luck, fellow believer.
Listen,
What's on your mind?
What's on your mind?
I think the good doctor's got frostbite of the brain.
Ja.
I'll say, spacemen my eye.
She said I instead of what I think we were supposed to say. All right, so now that we know that one of the doctors is in Tikal and the other doctor is in Azores, we can leave. That's all we
Let's
really
head for
need.
the airport.
We have to head to the airport and find them. All right, so we'll go to Azores first. Wait. Let's go to Tikal first. So we need to go through the forest to find Dr. Sternhardt. Sophia's not going to follow us, if I recall correctly. Okay. Yeah, I seem to recall that she doesn't follow you. She will find her own way there. Oh, that's an animal. Jungle rodent. Alright, it's your guys' call. Do you think we need to rank the dialogue sequence with the Dr. Hemendal in Iceland as a puzzle?
Boy, this jungle sure is confusing.
Because this jungle puzzle is definitely a puzzle. This is a puzzle. Because look, if we go into different paths... Oh, hey, we did it.
I'm not getting any closer to that snake.
I should skip it. Okay. So now we have the first real puzzle here, which is getting through the jungle and then dealing with the snake, because Indiana Jones is afraid of snakes. So we'll have to lure the rodent on the path to this snake. The snake will eat the rodent, and if we're, there, we can kind of get past the snake. So we'll go back here. Need to pick up that rodent.
Looks like a jungle rodent. It's my favorite piece of equipment. It could be useful in the right spot.
Okay, so we need to use the whip to capture the rodent and then bring the rodent to the snake. The snake will get distracted and it won't bite Indiana Jones. Or actually, the snake will just leave. We need to pay attention to how this rodent moves. And then we have one of my favorite things ever. Range. So we'll use whip. Now the rodent's over here. The snake will eat the rodent.
Good old Mother Nature.
And we need to remember to take the correct path to the tree. Nope, that's the wrong one. No, wait, it's this one. Shit. And now, we have the most random use of the Indiana Jones theme in this entire game. He's climbing a tree to get to the other side.
Wow, some bridge.
Hi, Indy.
Hello. How did you get over here?
While you were off bushwhacking, I found a path.
It turns out there's just a road that leads to Tikal. We didn't need to kill that poor capybara.
What do we do now?
We better find Sternhardt.
We better find Sternhardt. Okay, fine, whatever. Let's look at...
Just a minute. That's my shop. Can I help you with something?
Postcards, replicas of the temple, souvenir mugs.
No thanks, Mr.
Charles Sternhardt, PhD, independent thinker, researcher, and merchant.
What can you tell us about the temple?
Glad you asked.
So we find out that this guy who's
Now I
important
ask,
to the
does this
research
look like the
for
work of
finding
Philip
Atlantis
Atlantis, or
has
does it
totally
seem
sold
much
out.
too
And he's
similar?
like, yo, I did all this cool research on Tikal. Now I need to make money. I'm going to set up shop and sell trinkets and souvenirs at Tikal. It's like the most real part of this game. It's like, while you were off Indiana Jonesin', I decided to capitalism my way to riches.
Well, what can you tell us about Plato's lost dialogue?
I'm the one who translated it, I can tell you that. I'd worry you were here to steal my last copy, but someone called Mr. Smith beat you to it.
Oh, no! What can you tell us about Mr. Smith?
He showed up last week, a tall man with a German accent and a pistol. He could have taken all my souvenirs, but he only wanted the lost dialogue.
Can we take a look inside?
How do I know that you aren't a pair of silly tourists? I only show the temple to reputable scholars.
I'm Dr. Indiana
I'm
Jones,
Dr.
bitch.
Indiana Jones. Is that scholarly enough?
Indiana? Sounds like the name of one of your states, or possibly a cat.
Actually, it was the name of a dog.
Sophia?
Ha 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 ha. If you like that type of witty dialogue, you should play team.
I'd really
Come on.
like to explore the temple.
We're gonna play wits.
Tell me the name of the lost dialogue of Plato.
We're gonna say I don't know the
I don't know
title.
the title.
Title! Well, at least you're an honest man.
So it turns out that there's a parrot here where we can learn the title of the book. So this parrot has been basically listening over Sternhardt. And we're going to go over and talk to it. And we're going to try and have the parrot tell us the title. So we don't know the title. We can. I kind of want to just go through this.
Polly want a cracker?
Only want a cracker?
Because I find this to be just a good reminder that the people who met this or made this game recognize that
Echo.
Indiana Jones is goofy. made this game. Me and you.
Me and you.
And Tyler too.
Tyler too.
Title?
Hermocrates.
Hermocrates.
A
A friend of Socrates. The Rock. So let's walk to Sternheart.
Stop.
We can say Hermocrates.
Begging your pardon, you can't go in there. The
And-
temple isn't safe.
Go inside the temple. Talk to Sternheart.
Excuse me.
Yes.
About exploring the temple.
Tell me the name of the lost dialogue of Plato.
Hermocrates. The Gluteus Maximus. Oh, do you guys want me to hit Gluteus Maximus? I think he leaves or bounces out and we lose points. But I don't give a shit about points. Do it. Do it. Okay, let's do Gluteus
The
Maximus.
Gluteus Maximus.
The Gluteus Maximus.
Gluteus Maximus! Too bad, old bloke. That's not the answer.
He gets super pissed.
Stop! Excuse me, the temple isn't open to the public.
This game's good. Yeah, it was worth
Excuse me.
Yes?
About exploring the temple.
Tell me the name of the lost dialogue of Plato.
The Hermocrates.
That's it. That's it!
Well now, perhaps I was wrong. You seem to know what you're doing. Walk this way, please.
I don't trust this guy, Indy.
I don't trust this guy.
I know what you mean.
I know what you mean.
Come on. Here we are. Let's see what you can do.
Okay, once inside the temple, we need to look at a spiral design. So we'll do look at, and then look at the spiral design.
This one looks different, more deeply etched.
Okay. Let's look if anything.
Engraved symbols of water and life.
All right. We need to find the one that is darker than the others.
This one looks different, more deeply etched.
Deeply etched. There we go. Okay. So now this is our sign that there's maybe something that we need to use to get to to explore the temple further in. Okay. Now you're wondering, well, what is it? How do you do that?
Looks like it could use a nose.
All right. So the trick here is that we have to get the lamp, but Sternheart's not going to let us take his lamp without us paying up, and we don't have money. So we need to have Sophia act as a distraction. I just need to remember what's the right sequence of events here. I'm not actually using a guide. I'm playing this completely from memory. Okay, I forget. We need kerosene from the lamp. What do we need to use it for, though? I think we use the kerosene on the darker spiral design, if I recall correctly. Let's look at the door.
Engraved symbols of water and life. Excuse me, Sophia.
What's up?
You keep him occupied.
Could you talk to Sternhardt and keep him occupied?
Okay. Dr. Sternhardt, I'd like to speak to you.
So we'll take or pick up.
Good thing that pest Sternhardt's not around.
Alright, so now you can get the spiral stone.
Excuse me, won't you? Let's see what your friend is up to.
We have to open the kerosene lamp, if I recall correctly. No.
Better not spill the kerosene.
So, you took my lamp, eh? I hope you know what you're doing.
Use kerosene on the dark design, right?
Look, the kerosene ate away the
Okay.
tarnish.
Remarkable.
All right. Okay.
It's empty.
And so, where's the door? Oh, right. We have to pick up the spiral design.
Now I got it.
Marvelous.
Okay, that's definitely at least a 3. That's definitely at least a 3. I forgot that you use the kerosene to 3 or a 4. I would never have guessed unless, you know, I was just fumbling around with every verb to pick up that spiral design. It doesn't seem like something you would need to pick up. So now we need to use the spiral design on something to open the door. Okay, so we need to use the spiral design. I think, was it the head or was it something different? I forget. I forget if we use it on the head. So we use spiral design with animal head.
It fits perfectly. Now
Oh,
it looks
is.
kind
It
of like
makes
an elephant.
Amazing.
Okay. And then I think we use it as a switch.
That doesn't seem to work.
No? Oh, this is another time where it's sensitive. We have to pull the switch up.
Look
Right.
at that.
Astonishing!
See, I just feel like there's this push and pull
Bless
should just
my
be
soul,
used.
The tomb
Just
of an
be used,
Atlantean
please.
king! Here's a small stone disc with images of land and sea engraved on it. I do believe it's a world stone. At last I have the thing. Goodbye, fellow seekers.
Wait!
Oh no, he got away!
Okay, now I used to, as a kid, think that, oh my god, I have to chase after him. Nope, he's gone. But what we can do is we can look at this guy. Look at Tomb.
Who knows? Maybe it is the tomb of an Atlantean king.
You're not wrong, but then you wouldn't have the verbs in a nice 3x3 grid.
Too bad for Sternhardt. He missed the orichalcum bead.
Yeah, I get it. Okay, so we got the orichalcum, and I think that's all we can do. Now, let's go ahead and open up the document. So, go ahead and open up the document. Oop, nope, no. Please. There you go. All right. So how do we feel about the game so far? So we're still technically in Act 1. We're going to probably get up to the end of Act 1 before we pick our paths. I'll have maybe our second stream here be primarily working with our paths, but we have a couple of puzzles here related to Tikal that are worth talking about. So let's go ahead and say, getting through the jungle. Now, this is the part of the game where we have to use the whip to move the rodent, or capybara, I should say, to the snake, and then using the snake leaving the branch to, use the tree to get over. Now, I'm going to give this a 3 out of 10. And my reason here is pretty simple. Needing to use the whip on the capybara is a bit on the finicky side, and the range on the whip isn't as forgiving as you'd like. Also, the looping jungle entrances are annoying the first time you play the game. There's also a general lack of signposting that the snake needs to be removed by moving a rodent. And I guess that's kind of where I am right there, right? It just... Oh, I see that typo. And that's just kind of where I'm at. It's not hard. It's not impossible to solve. It's kind of a fun thing. It has one of the most random uses of the Indiana Jones theme, but I don't know. It just is a little on the annoying side. It's like putting a square peg in a round hole, but then the square peg actually fits through the round hole because it's the hole is too big. All right. Getting Sternheart to let you into the temple. I actually think that this is an easy 1 out of 10 because you can just exhaust all of your dialogue options and get the prompt to solve this puzzle. I think it is the easiest puzzle at Tikal. Also, after you wrap up your talk with Sternheart, the parrot makes its presence very much known. The only annoying bit is if you decide to play around with Sternheart and select the joke options. He leaves after every incorrect response rather than continue to stay and let you exhaust all of your options. I think it's very much easy to understand that what you need to do here. I'm not going to give it a 2 just because I think it's pretty easy to figure out that what you need to do here. Now, the one thing that I am going to probably bump up on the difficulty is this tomb shit. Opening the tomb in Tikal. I feel pretty safe that this is a 4 out of 10. Again, 5 meaning that you're starting to get towards the you might need a guide territory. I think you can still solve this using just generic logic. I do, however, think that there are parts of it that feel a little weird enough to where it's not as simple as just intuit or, use your intuition purely here to solve it. So I'm going to give this a bump up. The first issue is knowing to notice that there's one spiral design that is darker than the rest of the spirals. Rest of the spirals in the tomb. So that's a little weird. There's, you would only maybe assume that it's like, oh, maybe it's just like some weird design there. Likewise, knowing to use the kerosene lamp to loosen the spiral from the wall is a bit of a leap. I like Sophia being a distraction. However, if you hadn't spawned Sternheart by interacting with his store, you might have forgotten there was a store in the first place. So that's an issue. This is also where the verbs start to feel like there's overlap. And this is the real reason why I'm going to give this a 4. There's overlap. So once you get the lamp, you have to open, not use, the lamp to get the kerosene out. For example, you get the kerosene out of the lamp by using open instead of use. And the other big one is picking up the spiral design and needing to pull the lever rather than use it. Period. Finally, it took me a quick minute to remember that you need to pull the spiral from the wall, as it is a bit it isn't clear that it is an object when you look at it in game. Okay, so that's about it. A couple typos here, but I think that's basically it. I think this is a pretty good sequence overall. Again, I think that Tikal is a better set piece than New York, obviously. And it's here when I think that the game's open-endedness starts to rub some people the wrong way, but I think it just has this epic feel that really makes me kind of really respect what LucasArts was able to accomplish, especially at this time, this era, and kind of like what just production values at an all-time fucking high. All right, so let's go ahead and hit bye-bye on Notepad and come back to the game. No, don't. Ah, shit, I didn't mean to go to the fucking temple. God damn it. Let's talk to Sophia.
Sophia?
Yes?
What do we do now?
We've done all we can here, I suspect. Let's move on.
Okay. Walk to path around the jungle rather than go to the jungle. Okay. Use truck.
Let's find the airport.
Uh-huh. So now we're going to go back to Iceland. People are asking me, is this an open world game? Kind of. We actually could go back to the university if we wanted to. There's nothing there for us there, but we could go there. Oh no! Heimdall is dead!
Too bad. He's frozen solid. A little too dedicated to his work, I guess.
Yeah, let's, you want to, like, call his friends and family, Indy? No, how about, can we maybe report him dying of frostbite or something like that? Like, maybe, could we do something? Like, call someone? Anyone? He's dead. The guy is dead. Now, as you can see, we have the eel head here, so let's go ahead and look at that.
It looks like a bead would fit in the eel's mouth.
Dun, dun, dun. Nah, fuck that guy. The Swedish fish man is dead. Cutthroat world of academia is littered with the bones of the fallen. So I guess let's use the column with the exposed eel head.
It fits perfectly. Whoa!
Look, it melted itself right out of the ice.
It melted itself right out of the ice. That's what I just said, Sophia. Damn it. Let's pick this up.
It's a bronze coil.
How about we, can I show this? Give figurine to Sophia? Nope, can't. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Okay, so head back to the truck. We're all done here. Let's go to the truck. Hooray, guys. Hey, can we, guys, no, seriously, like, can we call, like,
Let's head for the
911 or whatever it is, 999, whatever? Like, can we help this dude get back to his family, please? Like, anyone? Okay, so this is the other lead that Heimdall gave us, who is very much dead.
This is his house?
This is it.
Okay, so
Mr. Costa?
Pipe down, I'm coming.
Be firm, but polite.
I suppose you're selling something. If it's not a priceless artifact, I don't want it.
Alright, he knows a thing or two about Plato's lost dialogue.
I hear you know something about Plato's lost dialogue.
Maybe so, maybe no. Who are you?
Rome, so he's cranky and mean. I'm a fellow believer. We gotta stroke his ego.
I'm a fellow believer.
Is that right? Do you know where Atlantis is?
I asked you first, bitch.
Come closer, boy, and I'll tell you. You're standing on it.
Impossible.
No one believes me. That hurts.
Nice going, Indy. I could have done better.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so we'll talk to Sophia.
Listen,
Listen.
Yes?
Yes? Here, you talk to the man. And this is the coolest part if we do play team option, is you switch between these two characters rather than stick with Indiana Jones. But again, we're here to deal with puzzles.
here, you talk to
Here
the
to
man.
play with the puzzles.
My pleasure.
Look at necklace. Okay. I play Resident Evil
Mr.
games
Costa!
as, you know,
Pipe
Abby once said,
down,
for
I'm
the
coming.
puzzles. I play
He's
Silent
a
Hill
touchy
for
old
the
bird.
Watch and learn, Dr.
poetry and the
Jones.
Shakespeare.
Well, hello, beautiful.
Professor Costa, my name is Sophia Hapgood.
Madam Sophia, a renowned psychic?
The renowned psychic.
I hope my friend didn't pester you too much.
He's a friend of yours? Well, no, he didn't pester me that much.
Indiana Jones really hates this option. He's named after the family dog, like continuing to remind him that he's named after a dog. But we do not want this guy to just go back inside, so we'll say,
We need some help from you.
need some help from you.
Happy to oblige.
What can you tell us about Plato's Lost Dialogue?
What do you want to know?
Have you read it?
Nope.
Do you know what's in it?
Nope.
Do you have it?
Not exactly.
Can you get it for me?
Sorry.
Do you know where we could find it?
Well now, that depends. I might trade the information for a rare Atlantean artifact, such as a certain necklace I've heard about.
I'll never trade away my necklace.
Well then, if that's how you feel, surprise me.
Would you do business with my friend here?
Madame, I'll do business with anyone.
I'll do business with anyone.
Thanks for your help. Goodbye for now.
At your command, madame. Don't be a stranger now.
What a charming old man.
Trade, huh?
And then we switch to the characters by talking one to the other.
Listen,
Yes?
I think you better take over.
Okay,
And it's a
I'll
lot
give
of
it a
that
try.
with the team playthrough.
Mr. Costa?
You again? What do you want?
Now, here's the one tricky thing about this is that the hint that he gives us is actually randomly generated based off of a collection of verbs and words. So I actually need to write this down because motherfuckers randomly generate the name of the book. So there's no guide that has this. This is I have to pay attention to what the words that he says, and it would be a real bummer. It would be a real bummer if I have this guy say this. I forgot to write this down, and I have to drag my ass back here to ask for the thing. Also, I do want to hit. Do you have a
Have a
bathroom,
bathroom in
there
there
I
I
can
can use?
Yes and no. Now go away.
Now go.
I don't want to hear a word.
I don't want to hear a word. This game's got a sense of charm.
Mr. Costa?
You again? What do you want?
Let's talk about a trade.
Okay, what you got?
A genuine made bullwhip. American made. He actually will refuse to give his whip if you click this, but let's just go with the eel figure.
I'm offering this mysterious eel figurine.
Now that looks interesting. You've got a deal, mister. Now listen carefully. I don't know exactly where to find it, but the Lost Dialogue of Plato is in the Dunlop collection. Got that?
I think so. The Dunlop collection.
Very good. Nice doing business with you.
And so there's other words that the collection could be in, or the name of the collection.
The Dunlop collection? You know something, Sophia? I believe Barnett College owns the Dunlop collection.
Somewhere in Germany.
Dr. Uberman. Fantastic news.
Uberman.
Corner!
Wait.
At last!
Is that guy's name really Uberman?
See what Herr Jones has kindly provided.
Very man?
What on earth? Isn't it amazing?
I didn't realize that at the first time.
You fool!
His name is
You come back
Uberman.
to show me this prehistoric knick-knack?
Herr Doctor, I believe this knick-knack, as you call it, comes from the Lost City.
Let's save.
Then we have failed. I see no evidence here of some magical metal Plato called orichalcum.
Look here. Concealed in the base is a small shiny bead.
Boy, these German
And it
accents.
glitters like fire, exactly as Plato described.
It's my guess we found the treasure we seek.
I never guess. We must test.
My God.
Mein Gott!
We've done it! The energy of uranium without any radioactivity! And those smug American scientists know nothing!
That gives me an idea. Suppose I place the bead inside the statue's open mouth. You saw that? Think of trucks powered by these beads. Think of tanks. Think of airplanes.
Oh no! The Nazis are gonna use this technology for evil!
Think big like the Americans! Think of bomb!
Alright. So we're back in Barnett College.
So why are you dragging me in here?
Alright, so after a jab at your choice from Indy. Should be here somewhere. This is Caswell Hall. We store all our junk here.
Plato's Lost Dialogue should be here somewhere.
Need some help?
You can't go with me. You don't have tenure.
You can't go with me. You don't have tenure.
Fine, rub my nose in it.
Rub my nose in it.
I'll meet you
I'll
in
meet
your
you
office.
in your office. That is such a weird fucking burn by Indy. I love it. You don't have tenure. No. Me. We actually do need to go to Indiana Jones's office. There's something we need to get. And I always forget to do this. Oh, wait. We should probably rank dealing with the old guy at the Azores. We'll do this and this. Trading with Felipe Costa. Felipe Costa. Boy. Is this a 4? Is this a 3? I think that it's pretty easy to deal with. The only nitpicky thing I would say is if you forget to get the eel statue, you would need to go back to Iceland after going to the Azores. And that's just a small nitpick. I think it's actually easier than the tomb stuff, so I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10. The only nitpick I have is related to the eel statue. If you forget to pick it up before you go to Azores, I didn't know how to spell that. Needing to backtrack is a slight bummer. Some people enjoy the open world aspects of Fate of Atlantis. I think it just is slow and leads to long load times. Yeah, at the time it was long load times. Leads to a lot of wait time. So you have to melt the eel statue. Getting the eel statue is simple. And needing to switch to Sophia is seamless enough. However, some of the dialogue options and your conversation with Philippe and others do not. And needing to restart a conversation with him from the beginning kind of sucks. And that's all I will say. I just, some of the options that are jokes that you know will end the conversation with him, it's just annoying enough to where I don't like it. I would like to just be able to, like, continue the conversation rather than he slams the door shut and then that's it. And needing to have to start from scratch. But, it's not the end of the world. It's kind of fun. It feeds into this, like, sense that we're getting a good time here, right? So we're almost done with Act 1. And like I said, this stream will be getting to Act 1. Second stream will be kind of us futzing around with Act 2, or the Wits playthrough. And we'll finish the game through the Wits playthrough, which includes Wits, the Wits version of Act 2, and then Act 3, which is actually going to Atlantis. Spoilers, we actually end up in Atlantis. I'm not going to complete the game. I'm not going to play the game's ending. It's weird. I will explain how the structure for this game works. Basically, Act 2 breaks apart into 3 branches, but Act 3 is the same no matter what. Even if you played the game using fists, using wits, or using team, the actual dynamics and what you need to do in Act 3 once you reach Atlantis is the same no matter what. So, I'm going to do the team option no matter what. No matter what, I'll do it. But I'm not going to play the game fists unless I reach my Twitch goal. Because fuck that. It sucks. Sucks a lot.
Well, don't just stand there. Go find Plato's Lost Dialogue.
I gotta find something. And the only reason why I know to do this is that I remember this part of the game messing me up horribly. So we need to find the collection. But we need to make a sandwich. We're in an adventure game. To get the collection, we're going to need to make a sandwich. And,
Phew. Guess I should have cleaned it out.
we need to pick up a jar of moldy mayonnaise.
I can't pick that up. I guess it's mayonnaise, but it looks like used motor oil.
Don't look at me. Don't look at me like that. There are 3 parts of this game that I think fans of this game like to forgive and forget. There's the hot air balloon part. There's the chase sequence. And then there's this part. Okay. We gotta go down to the boiler room. All right. Lower right. I think, yeah, we have to pick up this dirty rag. And see, this is the reason why this is going to rank probably the highest of all the puzzles that we've done so far, is you have to pick up a lot of items, and some of these items are not very clear in terms of where to pick them up. And this is always my biggest problem with anything related to these LucasArts adventure games, is that they have so much item clutter. Like, when I'm done with an item, it should just disappear. It shouldn't be in my inventory anymore. Oh, wait, we needed to pick up coal. Ho, 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 it's me, Santa Claus. Okay, now we can go to the library. Moldy mayo does not sound great. Jatsu 84. Yeah, yeah, we gotta make a sandwich, though. Oh, wow, you guys fixed all of the times we broke through the floors, it looks like it.
It's a screw. Early 20th century, I believe.
Can I pick up screw?
It's screwed in too tight.
Look at...
It's an old lecture hall
It's
desk,
an old lecture hall
complete with a
desk.
wad of gum, I'll bet.
All right, so there's gum there. We need to actually pick up the gum.
It sure is gooey.
Fun. Again, this is going to rank fairly high. Climb up the rope. So I forget. Do we use the rope? Uh-huh. It is also the totem. Ah, right. Okay, no, this is not the sandwich sequence. This is a different sequence.
Marcus thought Potlatch Indians carved this. Looks like a movie prop to me. It's from the Shamet collection. Very sharp.
Oh, I remember this now. Can we pick up this arrowhead? Cool. Alright, so we need to use the mayo to push this totem because the mayonnaise will create enough slipperiness to move the totem. So we use the mayo on the totem because, wait, look, I'll show you. Let's push the totem pole.
I can't push it any further.
Use mayonnaise with totem pole. Now we're adventure game.
I can't push it any further.
Oh, no, wait, we don't push it, we pull it. There we go! Pull it even more. Uh-huh. Do I have to pull it all the way? I think we do.
I can't pull it any further.
Pull it any further, okay.
Looks like textiles from the Shamet collection. Looks like beadwork from the Phoenix collection. Looks like beadwork from the Phoenix collection.
All right. So now the dialogue is in one of 3 possible locations. It's randomly generated, so... So, yeah. So what I seem to recall, we need to find the Dunlop collection, and the location of this collection is randomly selected in one of 3 chosen places here. We'll start here. So it's a big dusty. We should find a big dusty, big crate to the left. All right. So this is the first location that we'll play around with. So we've got to push this crate to the left side of the totem.
I believe it's part of the old Sprague collection.
Sprague collection. Okay. So it's not here.
The label says unidentified potsherds.
Let's push it again.
The label says unidentified potsherds.
All right, so it's not here. All right, so let's go down, and now we can look at the tipped over bookcase. We can't pick this bookcase up, but there's 2 ways to get the book if it's here. So we're going to start by using the easiest
It's from
way.
the Shamet collection. Very sharp.
We'll use the arrowhead on the screw, and then basically have a way to...
Ouch! The screw came out, but that hurt.
And there's 5 screws.
I can't unless I find a way to protect my hands.
What? Indy, are you fucking kidding me?
I can't unless I find a way to protect my hands.
Dirty rag with arrowhead. Stop.
It's unscrewed.
Ugh.
It's unscrewed.
This
It's
actually has
unscrewed.
2 solutions. We could have used the gum.
It's unscrewed.
So we're going to open this now.
Here it is, the lost dialogue of Plato.
The Lost Dialogue of Plato. Okay, so I'll show you what we would have had to have done. So the other way that you can be here is you need to use the gum to climb up the chute in the boiler room. And that part of the game is bullshit. And I want to show it to you because it's such a load of bullshit. So you have to climb up this coal chute, right? Because we need to get into the room with the cat figurines. So you're probably wondering, how do you get up the chute? It's slippery.
It's too slippery to walk up.
It's too slippery to walk. You need to use the gum on your shoes to walk
I'll
up the
stick
coal
this on my
chutes.
shoes for traction.
And you use the gum to create traction to walk
What do you
up
know?
the
The
chute.
gum works.
Adventure game, go! So, That's a dumb.
I don't see anything special about it.
And then you would have to check the drawers here.
I don't see anything special about it. I believe it's part of the old Dunlop collection.
So we could have gone here to find the Dunlop collection. Basically, the Dunlop collection is the books that fell down here in this playthrough. Is this game secretly also a quest for glory? Yes, because there are skill checks here. And you are being scored. With different ways of solving puzzles, yes. Like I said, we can fight people, we can use our wits and solve puzzles, or we can use teamwork and diplomacy. And you have to pay attention to what works and does not work when talking to other people.
I got it. I found Plato's lost dialogue.
Really?
You can actually. There is a bit of a side quest here in terms of fully translating all parts of Plato's dialogue. So, the Hermocrates. Now at last I have Plato's lost dialogue translated entirely. The Greek original is lost, so I've used the Arabic text I found in an Italian monastery years ago, and always thought was a hoax. Now I wonder, could this remarkable book hold the secret to long-lost Atlantis? Probably not. No one will publish it, that's certain. The fear of ridicule is too great. To be safe, I've sent a copy to Dunlop. Oh, no, wait. So we have to use the paper clips. No. So it's, as you can see, the paper clips are out of order. Hermocrates, in shame hereby, I hereby do recant the time and place whereof Critias spoke. In rendering Egyptian into Greek, he made a tenfold error. Instead of lying 3,000 miles ahead, Atlantis may well have been 30,000 miles away. Or perhaps it was less than 300 miles from our own shores. Likewise, it may be that the lost kingdom held sway as many as 100,000 years ago, or as few as 1,000 years. Socrates, if a kingdom arose on earth beyond anywhere men might travel, then we would never hear of it. We ought to accept the lesser of the figures. We've got to pay attention to that. I think you only need to use this. You only need to use this to solve puzzles if you want to do fists. So glorious Atlantis founded 2 colonies, the lesser 270 miles northwest of the city, of the greater 540 miles away southeast. Gates of the kingdom opened only with the aid of special stones. At many outposts a sunstone sufficed. If darkness concealed the tall horns, at the greater colony at Moonstone was also needed, with darkest night healed by the full moon. To approach Atlantis itself, a world stone was required as well, with the moon full of beauty unrivaled, lighting the city. Final entrance yielded only to contrary minds. And it is said that dwellers in Atlantis had no horses nor any need of them. Orichalcum, the metal that glittered like fire, this they had instead. They cast it into shiny beads and used them as we do minted coins, paying statues to do their work as if by magic. When their colonies were failing, wise men carved strange devices out of amber to search for the metal, but only proud Atlantis ever yielded a supply. Socrates, you have called the kingdom wealthy, but surely this is absurd. As the waters rose around their city, the kings of Atlantis one after another sought to hold off fate. Knowing mortal men would never rule the sea, they planned a huge colossus, which, by use of orichalcum, 10 beads at a time, would make them like the gods themselves. Nurab Sal was one such king. It was, say, the wise men of Egypt, who put men in the colossus, making many freaks of nature at times when the celestial spheres were well aligned. This I doubt. We are hearing a child's tale. Socrates is like, bullshit, bitch. Okay.
I don't see how this will help us find Atlantis.
So there's 5 pages, all bookmarked by paper clips. And each holds kind of a little bit of information about how to get into it and how to unlock the next set of puzzles.
Plato mentions colonies and outposts. We'll find them.
But he doesn't name them.
Other sources may identify them for us.
I wonder, where's my spirit guide when I need him?
Come on, Sophia. The answer's in the book, not outer space.
So he got his dates mixed up. Why is that so important?
Plato's error means distances could also be wrong.
So what if they are?
If Plato is right, Atlantis is in the Mediterranean.
You mean 300 miles from Greece instead of 3,000?
Yes, the cradle of civilization.
You could be right. He once told me he came from the middle of the world. That's what Mediterranean means.
I'm starting to like him.
Good old Nurab Sal. I'm starting to like him.
Wait, quiet. I think I'm getting something.
I say we play into her bullshit.
So, Mr. Sal, what's the secret?
Be patient, he's lost. But I think I know how to guide him home. Among the artifacts that Kerner stole was a small stone disc with a hole in it. I'm sure it was one of the 3 stones mentioned in Plato's book. And I didn't find it. I bought it from Omar al-Jabbar in Algiers.
Why should he help us?
Or was it Alain Trottier in Monte Carlo? Either way, Algiers or Monte Carlo. This much I do know. You'll need all 3 stones if you want to find Atlantis.
How will I find Trottier and Al-Jabbar?
Not so fast. First, I'm going to tell your fortune. Look into my eyes. Deep into my eyes. For Pete's sake, I'm not going to hurt you. Now hold still. You are a remarkable man, Dr. Jones. You possess great strength of character. You are resourceful. Always...
I'm going to save. We are going to call this Path Choice. You're playing a good adventure game. While it is well-liked, I wonder the puzzles will actually be interesting. Yes.
Eager to solve life's deepest puzzles. I could never follow the thoughts of your maze-like mind.
Yes, it's good.
So I can't follow you along the twisting path that leads to Atlantis.
So right here we are presented with the 3 different pathways. So again, you can work together, where we tackle this with Sophia next to us, and we follow a sequence of events using the team path. Team path starts in Algiers, then transitions to Monte Carlo, then eventually back to the dig site, and then a travel to Crete, a labyrinth, and then finally culminating with the submarine sequence. If we go with wits, we will go to Monte Carlo first, and then transition to Algiers. Then we will go to Thera, I believe a location that is exclusive to wits and fists. Then from Thera, we will go to the submarine, back to Crete, and then a sequence with the labyrinth. If we go with fists, that is doing actions and fighting people, we will be going to Monte Carlo first, and then to Algiers, eventually to Crete, and then we will start a 2-part sequence with the labyrinth. Eventually going to Thera and cutting out the submarine sequence entirely. Again, I know I said that earlier, but I'm just reminding people about how this choice right here is important. And I think a lot of people didn't realize that, and so you have to play the entire first act to have this here, back here. You can override what Sophia recommends by basically saying, bullshit, woman, we're going to work together. But again, the important thing is that while this is really interesting and it impacts how the second act plays, the third act, which is you exploring the city of Atlantis, stays the same no matter what. There are certain sequences that are exclusive to certain paths, but each environment, other than Algiers, Monte Carlo, which are required out of all 3 different paths, each location is accessible in 2 paths. Okay? So, even if you don't want to do fists, you can still encounter it if you do wits and team. And again, wits, we're going to do everything in the game that is related to puzzles. Team has action fight scenes as well as puzzles, except sometimes we'll need to switch to Sophia. And then of those 2, I would say wits is probably the better playing experience. Team has more story stuff. And then finally, Fist just sucks. The game engine here, you actually, maybe I can find an image of this. I'm going to see if I can find a picture of this. Because, I'm going to find a picture of this awful, god-awful piece of shit fight engine. And I will do maybe a little bit of the end or the start of Act 2, but I think this is my cutoff point. Let me show you how actually fighting here works. Because... So let me find this screen cap that I just took. Nope. Get the picture. We took a picture. Open this up. Okay, can I get a add window capture? Is there anything incriminating here? No. Yeah, let's do photos. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's anything incriminating here. Nope. Damn it, really? You're not gonna detect this photo, this picture? Okay, so, damn it. Really? You're gonna do that? But you're not going to detect the photos? Nope, don't want to display that. Cool. Well, now you see that I have my cooking recipes here. That's a pizza that I made. Cool. I have all my Final Fantasy screen captures from old ancient blogs that I haven't used. I should probably clear this out. Oh, well. So anyways, you do the fighting using the number pad. So if Indiana's on the left side of the screen, 7 is step back. Okay, so I need you guys to put your hands on the number pad of your numpad. So if Indiana Jones is on the left, the 7 button is step backwards. 8 is high block, so like a kick. 9 is punch high. 4 is also step back. 5 is middle block. 6 is punch middle. 1 is step back. 2 is block low. And 3 is punch low. Yeah, it's Sid Meier's Pirates. Here's the difference, though. If Indiana Jones is playing on the right side, the controls get inverted. So 7 goes from step backwards to punch high. 4 becomes punch middle. 1 becomes punch low. 8 becomes block high. 5 becomes block middle. 2 becomes block low. 9, 6, and 3 becomes step back. It is infuriating. And also, there's like a Call of Duty style of restoring health. And so if you get into these combat sequence, if you do action, or basically Path of Fist, you can fuck yourself if you do 2 fights in a row, which is completely antithetical to how you're supposed to play the game. So again, I'm going to just double save this. I'm going to do it alone, and we're going to do wits. And we'll probably do, I don't know, we'll probably do the first part of wits. We'll do Monte Carlo at the very least. All right, so let's go ahead and do this.
You're right. I better think this through alone.
I understand. Stay in touch.
The big consequence is that I really like the story and the dialogue between Sophia and Indiana Jones, and it
Take
is
care
a
of yourself.
bummer
And don't talk to any
that she
strange
is not
Nazis.
here if you do the puzzle.
So long,
halfway.
Indy.
So we'll go to Monte Carlo, and I guess we'll do our first ranking. Okay, so we're in Monte Carlo. This scene is super short, by the way. Actually, now that I think about it, we should pull up the notepad. Let's pull up the notepad. Okay, so all right, let's go ahead and talk about finding the dialogue. Finding the dialogue at Barnett College. This is gonna get a 6 out of 10 because it's pure adventure game. It's pure adventure gaming. First, the location of the dialogue. Dialogue is randomized between 3 possible locations. These locations are... Oops, nope. No. I didn't want that. The tipped over bookshelf. The dusty chest and inside or inside one of the cat figurines. If it is in the dusty chest, you need to return to Indy's office and need to pick up a jar of mayo and use the mayo to pull a totem. It's super logical. And it is very easy to not know. Yikes. Easy to not forget to pick up. You guys are seeing me trying to adapt to a mechanical keyboard in real time. The mayo, as it is in a ice chest that blends into the environment. If it is in the tipped over bookshelf, you can either combine an arrowhead with a napkin to unfasten screws to pull out the book. You can or you can use gum on your shoes to pick it up in a pile above a chute. If it is in the cat figurine, you are required to use gum on your shoes to go up a chute. And again, it's a leap of logic, knowing that you need to use gum on your shoes, but it's even easier to forget to pick up the gum. Gum from a random student's desk. Finally, if it is in the cat statue, you need to use a wax statue in a furnace to melt the wax around the book. This is the easiest of the possible outcomes, but finding the correct wax statue is a glorified pixel hunt. Pixel hunt. Hooray, there we go. Ha 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 ha. Alright, so now all my notes will be taken. So this is the Act 1 stuff. We're now going to go ahead and go to the Wits Path. And like I said, after I finish, actually, let's go here. Act 3. I'm only doing fists if I have to. If I can get to my sub goal of 150 people, which I only need 13 people. Alright. So let's go ahead and come back to the game. I'll actually hit save. Save. Alright, let's come back here. Hey, dude, talk to. No, you have to talk to strangers and find clues. Fuck this. Ugh. Hey, you. No.
Excuse me.
Can you tell me what Monsieur Trottier looks like?
Ooh?
Oh, this part of the game sucks. Oh, wait, I forgot to bring down the notepad. Sorry about that. So, in this sequence, you need to find a random assortment of people. You have to ask around what Monsieur Torre looks like, and then we're going to get a multiple choice quiz. That's literally what we need to do. Hey, how about you? No. Fuck. So all the people here move fast and move hard. No, I clicked talk.
Excuse me.
Hey, do you know what this guy looks like?
Are you Alan Trottier?
No, I'm not.
Just a moment, please.
Do you know what this guy looks like?
Can you tell me where to find Monsieur Trottier?
Possibly. Who wants to know?
I'm Dr. Indiana Jones of Barnett College.
Jones. I believe I've heard of you.
Oh shit, did we randomly find him?
Archaeologist.
Normally this takes me like a good 5 or 7 minutes of like getting clues in terms of what Trottier looks like, and then I've never caught him on accident. But basically it's, we need to talk to like 10 people to get clues like, oh, he wears brown. Oh, he has gray hair. Oh, he has a large nose. Oh, he has black shoes. And then we know what Trottier looks like. I've never accidentally found him this quickly. And he doesn't like us to boast about it. He will leave. Today is our lucky day.
Actually, I'm just a simple professor.
Oh, leave the modesty to me, sir. Alain Trottier. Amateur scholar, part-time poet, professional dreamer.
Having I don't want to talk to you right now before you get the important information or item is such a bummer.
What can you tell me about Atlantis? Oh, that depends. To prove you're worth dealing with, answer me this. When were the many freaks of nature created?
Oh, shit. I'm looking up the answers to this. When were the many freaks of nature created? When the celestial spheres were well aligned. Yes, you can learn this in the game, but it's a 5-page book. And it's a bunch of technobabble.
When the celestial spheres were well aligned. Yes, excellent.
It's a real bummer, him saying, all right, you're not who you seem, and then needing to find him again.
Personally, I doubt I can help you, but my name is recognized among dealers in antiquity. Maybe my business card will be of some use to you. Feel free to look me up whenever you're in town. And now, au revoir.
And that's it. That's the entire sequence. We have to do this again when we do team. The good news is that Algiers is a little bit quicker. Oh, no, wait. I forget. Does team... Oh, I'm not in the mood for... I'm 1,000% not in the mood for the team direction for Algiers. That's the part that requires the hard air balloon, doesn't it? Oh, I'm not looking forward to that. That is... The team Algiers balloon sequence is, like, notoriously bad. All right, so let's go ahead and leave. Leave. I want to leave.
Driver to the airport.
And we'll go to Algiers and we will save. Yeah, this Algiers sequence is a little on the long side, let me just say. It's a little on the long side. I mean, it's like, it might be one of the longer sequences other than maybe the labyrinth scene if you do the fists option. But yeah, this is a long sequence, so we'll go ahead and hit F1. We'll hit save. We'll say wits. Nope. Wits start. And so we have path choice, wits start. I have no why. I really like the idea of there being an Uberman, a guy named Dr. Uberman. So we'll call this wits start. And I will go ahead and close out of the game. Yes, I want to quit. We'll bring up the notepad and we'll kind of talk about that last sequence before we talk about kind of my plan for this. So for the first wits path puzzle, okay, so we're going to talk about finding, oops, no, where are we? Right here. Finding Alain Trottier here in Monte Carlo. I'm going to have to write out my thoughts before I give this a rank out of 10. Using the scum verbs quickly before characters run past you is frustrating. Only a few of the NPCs that you will encounter actually are helpful in getting clues about Trottier. The good news is that you can catch Trottier if you are lucky or already know what he looks like. However, if you miss your chance to talk to him, you might be stuck waiting for a while before he spawns again. This waiting game isn't the greatest feeling ever. When you do get a hold of Trottier, the multiple choice question he asks you is a real screwball you don't see coming. If you blew through, is a real screwball. If you blew through the book, shoot shuckle through the book and did not pay attention to the contents in it, you very easily might end up with Trottier leaving and you needing to catch him a second or third time. Again, also, he will ask a different question if you failed. As such, it's just easier to look up the answers using a guide. Finally, the end of the Monte Carlo sequence involving him giving you his business card is a massive anticlimax. And I was at first taken aback that I was honestly done with the level. All right, so what do I want to give this? Let's I think a 6. It's not really hard. It's more of like a pixel hunt if you stop and think about it. Yeah, getting Trottier sucks, and like that multiple choice quiz is just not fun. But if you really read it and like, I think I'm gonna give this a 5.5. I'm gonna split points here. This seems like the compromise nobody wants, but I'm gonna do it anyways because I just don't feel like committing to anything. Just like interacting with the Scum engine and trying to quickly talk to people before they leave just isn't a good time. And that's always been an issue with the Scum engine, is when things are hitting and blowing past you super fast and you are not able to like interact with it quick enough to like get your stuff in time. And just that multiple choice option, like being, oh, you failed once, gotta try again and hope he spawns quickly. Like, that is just not a fun time. So here's what I'm thinking. I'm going to end the stream in a little bit, but I'm going to probably, the next time, so with Algiers, that's a long sequence, but the next stream I'll try to do all of the rest of Wits. I'm debating if I want to do Wits, do a hard save, like, and call that save beginning of Act 3, and then do Team Path, do the Team Path where you have to pick things. That might be the best compromise, is like complete Wits, save at the start of Act 3, then do Team Path. But again, I gotta think about it. But anyways, I feel good about this series. This feels fun. I'm gonna try and stream tomorrow. I'll say that much. I will try to stream tomorrow. But the good news is I'm going to get my blog translated, like the blog version of Fate of Atlantis, or like, oddly enough, The Lost Tales of Atlantis. That blog's coming up. And I might just belt out the Loom blog because it's like 2,000 words, because Loom is super short. It was like 3 hours, and I don't have a lot to say about Loom other than it feels like half a game. And there's nothing really in that game that feels especially difficult in hindsight. I just, at the time as a kid, remember it being tough for me to play because I was not used to a non-Scum Engine game coming out of, like, LucasArts. It's like, what's this fucking wand shit? But anyways, I'll see you guys. Sorry for, like, the weird moments where this thing was, like, buffering like you-know-what. Yeah, it looks like there was a weird port where, like, the bitrate suddenly went to shit, but what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Twitch, OBS, it's a bad. If only this thing worked reliably. I should probably run OBS in admin mode, or, stuff mode. Eh. Anyways, I'll try to stream tomorrow. This seems like I think Arbitrary is not in the chat anymore, but it turns out that this is way more fun when the games are not dog shit. Oh, shit, he is in chat. I feel like this is a better viewing experience, and also me playing it. Is this a better viewing experience when the game's not dog shit? Is it a better viewing experience? Because if it's fun watching me want to, like, slowly die inside. I mean, who could say? Who am I to judge? Maybe you like the schadenfreude of watching me, like, deal with a British parrot that's talking Yang. Oh yeah, I will stream tomorrow, don't worry. And the first act's super simple. Super simple. Like, peak Wits is gonna be a fun time. Like, we only got the surface. But anyways, All right, fine. What's Arbitrary talking about? He wants me to play Discworld, which is like notoriously one of the most difficult adventure games ever made. You also want to see the world burn. Don't even lie. All right. Yeah, I'm having a fun time. That was a nice bite-sized chunk. It was like almost 3 hours, and it didn't feel like it. All right. Bye. And if you're watching the YouTube archive, there will be just a hard cut to the beginning of the next part.